In this case, and this brings up the ethics of it, and that you have brought in 3 movies, which seems like a masterful move that I'm not certain is entirely ethical.
Hello and welcome back to Staff Picks. We are once again at the Archive in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm Patrick Willems, here with my co-host, Danielle Radford. We are joined once again by Millie Tamaras and Connor Ratliff. And today, we're talking about comedy. It's a very serious topic.
Never heard of it.
No, this is a serious show where we discuss serious movies. So Danielle, we're starting with you.
All right.
What did you bring for us today?
These are some really interesting movies. This is one time where I'm like, I don't know that I've seen a lot of these. Where's the out-of-print stuff?
Right here.
Ooh. Oh, I think I can convince people that Parasite's a comedy. This is going to be one that I'm going to fully admit is out the box, and I kind of just want to talk about it. I went with Parasite, which I know technically could be not considered a comedy. I personally find it to be a comedy because I think that the jokes are intentional. They happen very often, and it is a hilarious movie. Obviously, it does that great thing that comedies do where they shed a light on issues and things that folks should be talking about. In this case, class inequality, things like that. But this movie's been out for a while. I just want to say, if you don't think that this is a comedy, if you haven't seen the flooding scene, that would be the only way that I would think that you would not see this as a comedy, because that flooding scene is nothing but huge physical comedy. That is all that this is. And so much of this is the comedy is based on dialogue. And yeah, it gets really twisted and it gets really, not so funny towards the end. But I would argue that a lot of comedies do that. This feels like comedy in the way that a lot of TV shows that are billed as comedy do have some dramatic elements to them, but they're still comedy. So I am going with Parasite.
That's a great pick. Parasite's a funny movie.
It's a really funny movie.
I feel like the flooding scene was very sad.
Well, which part?
All of it.
Well, yeah, it's sad, but the physical comedy of it.
Okay, no, when she's smoking a cigarette on the toilet.
Or when the whole time they're trying to keep we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, so mine I think is a more conventional comedy, even though it has a title that doesn't sound funny. How are these organized here?
Probably not at all. But
yes, many are even upside down, making it extra hard to read. Okay, here's a contender for comedy. Running Scared, starring Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. It is a movie about cops. I'm sorry.
You love the police.
But this is a movie about 2 cops who are just trying to finish this one last case so they can quit being cops and leave Chicago and move to Key West, where they want to open a bar. Has anyone seen this movie?
Yeah, but it's been ages.
Okay, there's a part in the movie where they basically just quit the case they're on and they just go on vacation. And it's just this long section where they just rollerblade around and just hang out in Key West. And I've never seen a movie like this that does have the police and crime aspect to it. Just have the characters basically quit, just leave town and go have fun and be like, we don't like our jobs. We should just come out here and just drink pina coladas all day. And that's the goal of the movie, to do that. And it's also, look, there should have been 5 movies with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines as a duo. It's a perfect buddy comedy. Also has Joe Pantoliano, which immediately elevates every single movie. Bound was one of our winners before. Joey Pants is in that. And it's just a delightful little movie that I feel that also has a great car chase. I know this is a comedy, but it's a funny car chase on the L train track in Chicago. They're driving on it. It's great. It's a barrel of laughs. It is, according to someone named Judith Christ, it's the best buddy movie in years. What more can I say? Connor brought a comedy.
All right. And I have a VHS tape as well.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time I've seen someone try to find a thing specifically in their head.
Well, it's more just I have a guidepost that if I'm looking for it, I might see something else.
Right.
I just got to find the thing that I lost track of here a second ago. Yeah, you're not able to help me because that would violate the rules. That's the prime directive, right?
Yep.
A lot over there.
Yep.
There's one thing I'm looking for, but I don't see it. How long do I have? How many minutes? Are we counting down? There it is. There it is. This is one of my favorite movies, Broadcast News by James L. Brooks. Now, this is available on DVD and Blu-ray. It's a Criterion title. But I believe I would have seen this in the theater when it came out. I definitely own this VHS tape. It's one of those movies that I could watch over and over and over again. There's a very small handful of movies that if you tried to torture me by putting this on a loop where you could only ever see this, I would foil that because I'd be like, yeah, you played right into my hands. I want to watch this.
What? I said, what situation? Never mind.
Like a jigsaw type situation.
Okay,
okay. Like a dumb jigsaw. Like a jigsaw hasn't figured out what I like and don't like.
You know that thing when you end up in a jigsaw situation?
Sorry.
Classic jigsaw. Classic jigsaw.
He thinks he's got my number. He's going to show it to me too much. Maybe that's his strategy. Like, see if you like feed someone too much candy and then they're sick of it. But I would never get sick of this movie. It's a romantic comedy, but it's also a documents movie because they're journalists. Just like in Transylvania 6500. I like movies about journalists, but it's also about ethics. It's a comedy that has substance because part of the triangle has to do with, like, Albert Brooks plays a very talented and serious reporter. William Hurt plays a very skilled and attractive on-air anchor person. One of the things that I think is fascinating about this movie is that it really plays with your idea of like what skills are valued in a certain profession. You know, there's a great cameo by Jack Nicholson in this. You first see him revealed on like a monitor in the back that like, oh, who's the head anchor for this network? And then you cut to and like, oh, it's this iconic Jack Nicholson performance. It's very funny, it's very smart. Even though I think the ethics in journalism, it's now a time capsule because one of the key things that's in this is about authenticity in news. What's more important, entertainment or journalism? And this movie calls it. Like, it's one of those movies where, like Network, that it calls the shot. Like, the entertainment part is going to overtake the news part. I think it's prescient. I think it's smart, funny, holds up. Who says that comedy can't be important? Who said that?
You did just.
Millie, did you say that?
Who said that?
I didn't say it.
So Millie, last but not least, what do you got?
This shit is like dollar store movies. This is kind of like rom-com. That's what you need, is a rom-com genre. And Honey and Josie and the Pussycats. We have comedy classic Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh!
And I have to say, you get 2 more movies for the price of 1. So in your video store, you will also get Blue Crush, which I almost picked as my drama. Honey, we can ignore.
No, we can't.
Don't you dare ignore Honey.
You know, is it a snapshot of white woman goes into an inner city place and saves it? Yes, a la Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Gangster.
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds.
I'm a little bit of an expert in the Save the Rec Center movie, and this is a lot closer to like a Break-In 1 or a Break-In 2.
Yeah,
Save
the Rec Center.
It also has fantastic music done by Missy Elliott. Tweet is in it.
Adams.
Yolanda Adams is in there as well. And also you get Missy Elliott being really funny going, what is all of this? I might have that movie member.
So your pick is actually Honey now, right?
No, but it enhances.
not.
It's an enhancer.
My pick is Josie and the Pussycats. First of all, original soundtrack holds up.
So,
the
Adam Schlesinger,
yes,
genius.
very strong anti-capitalist message. What it had to say about boy bands, girl bands, capitalism.
it was like the height of TRL when it
was a
came
height
out.
of TRL.
And it's definitely a cult movie. Like, it did not do very well because people were like, what is this? I don't get it.
Oh, it was a
And-
huge failure at the time.
Yeah. And then I think once it started going onto cable and people started to like see it on there, they're like, wait, this is like secretly one of the most genius comedies I've ever seen.
And very self-aware. Like Spice World, that's another movie that's really fucking funny and really self-aware and like doesn't take itself too seriously. You know, again, when we're talking about what movies are taken seriously as comedies and whatever, it's very rarely female-led ones.
Like broadcast news.
Like broadcast
with
news.
Academy Award nominee for that year. I think that was the same. Was that the same year that she was in Raising Arizona? Because it was a real breakout moment for Holly Hunter that she was at two very different performances, both funny, but with completely different comedic styles.
Yeah. And she's third billed in this, but she is the lead.
She's the lead character, yeah. And because she's the character who ultimately changes in the love triangle. And there's actually, I won't spoil the ending of the movie. There is a fascinating, not on this, deleted scene.
Oh God.
It's on the Criterion?
It's on the Criterion.
Because I have that.
Well, basically, James L. Brooks had an idea for the ending to this that I guess the studio maybe didn't want. They were like, do an ending that's like this. There's this scene that I'm convinced they sabotaged on purpose because they're like, gave the studio like a single angle, like semi-improvised sounding take. It's like the worst. Like if you watch this movie, you're like, oh, I wish it had a different kind of ending. They did it, and it looks like the type of ending that you turn in just being like, I dare you to choose this take. Yeah, but strong female lead. Strong female leads.
Is this like now just the classic Patrick move? I'm going to remove mine from contention.
Wow.
Because I love Parasite as well.
I'm not going to keep this in contention. I just wanted to talk about Parasite.
I told you, because it's one of the best movies.
I would have never framed it as a comedy.
I definitely, the whole time I'm just tracking the humor. And if you think about the parts of it that really went viral, it was everything that was super funny. It was the like Chicago, like that part was really funny. And the flood, yes, obviously it was really sad in the aftermath of it. But if you look at the way that they're playing it, it is played very high comedy. Like obviously it's got those really disturbing elements, which I don't think are out of place in comedies, but Josie and the Pussycats is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I feel like I'm picking your favorites. I feel like
really got in there. I could like literally, I could sing so many of those songs right now.
Yeah,
but I can't because copyright.
Wait, change the lyrics just to make parody versions. Because that'll be fair use.
There's three small words.
Yeah. So he looked at me and he said something, and I can't say the words because it's illegal. But if they could say the words, they would sound like you would hear them coming out of my mouth. Why did you do what you do to me, baby? And now I'm just doing the song. Making my confidence driving me crazy. Broadcast news is also an incredible movie. The hard part about this, really, for me, when it comes down to these two, is like, this is also about preserving physical media. It's about preserving movies that are maybe not necessarily going to be the easiest to find in other places.
In this case, and this brings up the ethics of it, and that you have brought in 3 movies, which seems like a masterful move that I'm not certain is entirely ethical.
Well,
and
first of all,
but it's the only way that you could get your pick in. So I feel like you're covered, but just ever so slightly, because you're preserving 3 movies.
This is like having bonus features.
Yeah. This is bonus features, but it's also
the irony. You who hate bonus features bring in 2 feature-length bonus features,
but
2 deleted feature films.
Well, in my defense, you made the case for broadcast news. Not over Josie and the Pussycats, but I've never seen it.
I recommend it.
And I want to watch it.
But I take your point. On the one hand, I do feel like as a VHS, there's a charm to it. Mm-hmm. But you're right. If you were looking at preserving the film, there's better versions. There's more.
It's in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
But maybe
can I
that's
say
the point.
this? And this is a Hail Mary pass. This is mono-compatible. So for those of you...
Well, that changes everything.
For those of you audiophiles who have a great mono setup, who despise stereo.
If you like the 0.1 and 5.1, this is the movie for you, clearly.
And if you thought mono was a disease you got after kissing the wrong boy in 6th grade, this is the one for you.
I genuinely would be happy to go with either one of these. I'm not going to be the deciding vote.
Wow.
I will say, if we're talking comedies, I just have to highlight this because it hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
The sequence in broadcast news where Albert Brooks has his one shot to be an on-air anchor and can't stop sweating as sweat is pouring down from his hairline down his back is, I think, one of the funniest sequences in all of cinema. And I just have to I'm not saying that's got my vote, but I'm just it's got that. We have to mention that and maybe hopefully put a a clip of it as I'm talking about it because that scene is so good.
Potter's about to make a point.
No, well, I was just looking at one of I'm realizing all of these I got confused in the layout of the triple feature as to what reference to what. So I thought this was about Josie and the Pussycats. It's actually about Honey. That's PG-13 because of drug content. Oh, no, hold on. No, it was Blue Crush has sexual content, teen partying, language, and a fight.
Yes,
Ooh.
because
I just love that it's language and a fight.
Because
one fight in Blue Crush.
she cleans. She's a maid, and she finds condoms in this guy's room, and drugs too.
Oh damn!
And but he's a football player, and they end up sleeping together. Now, would you prefer Honey or Blue Crush?
That's
Honey.
the question.
I would say Blue Crush.
I'd say Honey over Blue Crush.
Honey has Lil Romeo.
But Blue Crush has a scene where she's training to be a surfer and she's dragging a rock underwater. You know that iconic scene?
Mm-hmm.
She's just pulling the rock underwater to try to get more breath control.
But this one has Tweet in a rig.
That's true.
Doing like this really whack dance.
That's true.
What I really love here, opening up the case, is you see that here's the Josie and the Pussycats disc. But then, instead of having 3 discs, they put Blue Crush and Honey on the same disc, showing them deep disrespect, but also knowing what the important one is. I will admit, I haven't seen Blue Crush or Honey.
Oh, really? Why do you hate women?
I love Josie and the Pussycats.
No.
Doesn't that make me like a full-fledged feminist now?
No.
I like that one movie.
It might have,
I have all my cred now.
Like that. Not when you say it like that.
Give me my feminist cred.
Okay, wait.
I like a movie about women.
Okay, wait, calm down. Yeah.
No, be quiet. Let me talk over you and demand more feminist cred.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. I made my case.
I say let's go with it. You got my vote.
Okay. Well,
There's something that I love about the triple feature.
yeah.
It's so funny.
For the archive.
Look.
Because you really feel strongly about the rec center, even though this is about Josie.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very important genre that we do need to preserve.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll do one of those one time. We'll just do like best rec center movie.
Yeah, I mean, a thing that I've thought about is we don't, in this show, in the format of the show, we don't really have the right genre for like a rec center dance movie. Where does that go?
Or Freedom Writers or whatever.
Isn't that a drama?
Yeah, but it's very rec center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do a rec center episode.
Okay,
also,
okay.
the other thing I want to say is this is the comedy round, and I think bringing in a triple feature featuring 2 movies that are not comedies is so funny.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. It's great.
Okay. I'm happy to have this win. And yeah, I do feel like this is a great time. It holds up really well. And Rosario Dawson, I mean, come on. Ahsoka.
That's her?
That's true. That is Ahsoka.
Yeah. Connor, be happy. Ahsoka.
I am happy. What do you mean?
You love Ahsoka.
Yeah, it's fine. I haven't seen it.
That's all.
I feel like I should win an award.
You did. You got the things on the thing.
That's true.
Yeah, you got the things on the thing. What's more prestigious than that?
The producers will mail you an award.
Okay,
That's how it
great.
goes.
It's that movie. I'll mail you that movie.
Okay.
With a sticker on it that says congrats.
All right.
Okay. So that's it. It's Josie and the Pussycats.
The disrespect to Honey Daniel.
Featuring bonus features.
One of the pleasures of browsing a store that has a big selection is sometimes you find something that becomes your new favorite thing that you never would have found if you hadn't been browsing in that store on that day. Sometimes you make huge mistakes. You rent things that you think you'll like because the box looks good and you take it home and you realize, I used to make the mistake at Kim's Video in New York when I moved to New York, and that was still the sort of like the last era in which I was renting things. They had so many weird bootlegs that I would go in and they had all these great movies there, but I would rent like the weird bootleg of like the Beatles cartoon show. And then I would get it home and I'd be like, I don't want to watch this. This isn't good. But I would rent things because they were weird and because they were rare.
Right.
Not because I thought they would make the evening better.